Question 1. Homeowners insurance policies. Which of the following statements best describes the purpose of the declarations page in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. It provides a detailed list of all covered perils under the policy. B. It outlines the specific terms and conditions that the insured must adhere to. C. It summarizes key information about the insured property, coverage limits, and premiums. D. It specifies the exclusions that apply to the policy and their implications. Answer C. It summarizes key information about the insured property, coverage limits, and premiums. Explanation. The declarations page serves as a summary of the important details of a homeowner's insurance policy. This page typically includes the name of the insured, the property address, coverage limits for different types of coverage, e.g. dwelling, personal property, the premium amount, and the policy period, while options A, B, and D mention critical components of a policy. They are not the primary function of the declarations page, which is to provide an overview of the essential terms of coverage. Question 2. Claims process. In the event of a claim being denied, what is the most appropriate first step a policyholder should take to address the denial? A. Immediately seek legal advice to contest the denial. B. Review the policy documentation to understand the reasons for the denial. C. File a complaint with the Virginia Bureau of Insurance. D. Request a payment review from the insurance company. Answer. B. Review the policy documentation to understand the reasons for the denial. Explanation. Before escalating the matter or seeking legal advice, the policyholder should first review that policy documentation to understand the specific reasons for the denial. This step is crucial because it allows the insured to assess whether the denial aligns with the policy's terms and conditions, including any exclusions or conditions that might apply. If the policyholder believes the denial is unjustified after this review, they can then consider filing a complaint with the Virginia Bureau of Insurance or seeking legal advice. Question 3. Scenario-based question. Mr. Thompson recently purchased a home in Virginia and obtained a homeowner's insurance policy. After moving in, he discovered significant water damage in the basement due to heavy rainfall and inadequate drainage systems. He files a claim with his insurer, but it is initially denied based on a specific exclusion in his policy. What should Mr. Thompson do next to potentially resolve the issue? A. Accept the denial as final since it is based on an exclusion. B. Immediately file a lawsuit against the insurance company for the claim amount. C. Review his policy for the specific exclusion cited in the denial and gather evidence that could contradict the insurer's decision. D. Contact his local regulatory agency to report the insurance company. Answer. C. Review his policy for the specific exclusion cited in the denial and gather evidence that could contradict the insurer's decision. Explanation. In Mr. Thompson's situation, the best course of action is to first thoroughly review his homeowner's insurance policy to understand the specific exclusion cited in the claim denial. He should gather evidence, such as photos of the damage and any relevant documentation regarding drainage systems, to support his position. If he believes the denial was inappropriate, he can then approach the insurer with this evidence or request a reconsideration of the claim. Filing a lawsuit or contacting a regulatory agency should be considered only after he exhausts the internal appeal process with his insurer, as these steps can be costly and time-consuming. Question 4. Risk assessment and underwriting. Which of the following factors is least likely to be considered by an underwriter when assessing a homeowner's insurance application? A. The age of the home and its construction materials. B. The homeowner's previous insurance claims history. C. The homeowner's political affiliations. D. The location of the property and local environmental risks. Answer. C. The homeowner's political affiliations. Explanation. Underwriters evaluate numerous factors when determining a homeowner's insurance premium and eligibility, including the age and condition of the home, previous claims history, and environmental risks associated with the property's location, such as flood zones or proximity to wildfire areas. However, a homeowner's political affiliations have no relevance in the underwriting process and do not impact the insurance assessment. Question 5. Coverage types. What is the primary purpose of liability coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. To cover the cost of repairing damages to the insured property. B. To protect the insured against claims resulting from injuries or damages to others. C. To reimburse the insured for lost or stolen personal property. D. To cover additional living expenses incurred while the home is being repaired. Answer. B. To protect the insured against claims resulting from injuries or damages to others. Explanation. Liability coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy primarily protects the insured from legal claims made by third parties for bodily injury or property damage occurring on the insured premises. This coverage can include legal defense costs and any settlements or judgments up to the policy limits. Options A, C, and D describe other types of coverage within a homeowner's policy but do not represent the function of liability coverage. Question 6. Home insurance policy exclusions and limitations. Which of the following is typically excluded from standard homeowners insurance policies? A. Theft of personal property. B. Fire damage to the home. C. Earthquake damage. D. Personal liability for injuries on the property. Answer. C. Earthquake damage. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies typically exclude coverage for earthquake damage, which can lead to significant destruction. Homeowners often need to purchase a separate earthquake insurance policy or endorsement to cover such risks. Theft of personal property, fire damage, and personal liability are generally included in standard coverage, although limits and conditions may apply. Question 7. Special considerations. Which statement about flood insurance is true in the context of homeowners insurance policies in Virginia? A. Flood insurance is automatically included in standard homeowners insurance policies. B. Homeowners can only obtain flood insurance through the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP). C. Flood insurance covers all types of water damage, including sewer backups. D. Homeowners must provide proof of flood insurance before obtaining a mortgage. Answer. B. Homeowners can only obtain flood insurance through the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP). Explanation. In Virginia, as in other states, flood insurance is not included in standard homeowners insurance policies. Homeowners must purchase it separately, typically through the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP), while homeowners might opt for additional coverage for sewer backups or similar issues. Those are separate considerations and not part of standard flood insurance. Additionally, while lenders may require flood insurance for properties in designated flood zones, it is not a blanket requirement for all mortgages. Question 8. Claims process. When an insurance adjuster evaluates damages after a claim is filed, which of the following is not typically a responsibility of the adjuster? A. Determining the cause and extent of the damages. B. Approving or denying the claim based on policy coverage. C. Negotiating the settlement directly with the policyholder. D. Providing legal advice on the claim. Answer. D. Providing legal advice on the claim. Explanation. Insurance adjusters are responsible for assessing the damages, determining the cause, and evaluating whether the claim falls within the coverage of the policy. They can negotiate settlements but do not provide legal advice. Legal advice should be sought from qualified professionals, such as attorneys, especially if a dispute arises regarding the claim or policy interpretation. Question 9. Fundamental concepts. Which of the following best describes indemnity in insurance terms? A. The obligation of the insurer to pay the full value of a claim regardless of the circumstances. B. The principle that ensures an insured does not profit from a loss. C. The requirement that all claims must be substantiated with physical evidence. D. The process of transferring risk from one party to another. Answer. B. The principle that ensures an insured does not profit from a loss. Explanation. Indemnity is a fundamental principle of insurance that aims to restore the insured to their original financial position before the loss occurred, without allowing them to profit from the insurance claim. This concept prevents moral hazard, where insured parties might take undue risks knowing they will be compensated for any loss. Options A, C, and D do not accurately represent the principle of indemnity. Question 10. Consumer education and resources. What is one of the key benefits of comparing different homeowners insurance policies before purchasing? A. To find a policy that covers all risks without exclusions. B. To identify the lowest premium without considering coverage limits. C. To understand the various coverage options and limits offered by different insurers. D. To simplify the claims process by choosing the first policy available. Answer. C. To understand the various coverage options and limits offered by different insurers. Explanation. Comparing different homeowners insurance policies allows consumers to evaluate the coverage options, limits, and exclusions offered by various insurers. This process helps homeowners choose a policy that best fits their needs and offers adequate protection. While cost is a factor, simply seeking the lowest premium can lead to inadequate coverage. It's essential to consider both price and the extent of coverage provided. Question 11. Homeowners insurance policies. Which of the following homeowners insurance policy forms provides the broadest coverage for personal property? A. HO1 basic form. B. HO2 broad form. C. HO3 special form. D. HO5 comprehensive form. Answer: D. HO5 comprehensive form. Explanation: the HO5 policy is designed to provide the most extensive coverage for personal property, offering open perils coverage, meaning it covers all risks except those explicitly excluded in the policy. In contrast, HO1 offers very limited coverage, and HO2 and HO3 provide more coverage than HO1, but not as extensive as HO5, which includes higher limits and broader coverage options for personal property. Question 12. Claims process. After a homeowner reports a loss, what is the primary role of an insurance adjuster during the claims process? A. To act as the homeowner's legal representative. B. To verify the homeowner's financial status. C. To investigate and evaluate the damage to determine the insurer's liability. D. To directly negotiate with contractors for repair costs. Answer: C. To investigate and evaluate the damage to determine the insurer's liability. Explanation: the primary responsibility of the insurance adjuster is to assess the damages reported by the homeowner, investigate the circumstances surrounding the loss, and evaluate the insurer's liability under the terms of the policy. They do not represent the homeowner legally or handle negotiations with contractors, although they may work with them to estimate repair costs. Question 13. Risk assessment and underwriting. In underwriting, which of the following risk factors would most likely result in higher premiums for a homeowner's insurance policy? A. The home being built of fire-resistant materials. B. The home being located in a low-crime area. C. The home being situated in a flood-prone zone. D. The homeowner having a strong credit history. Answer: C. The home being situated in a flood-prone zone. Explanation: homes located in flood-prone areas pose a higher risk for insurers as the potential for flood damage is significant. This risk typically results in higher premiums. In contrast, fire-resistant materials and low-crime areas are seen as favorable conditions that could lower premiums, while a strong credit history may not directly correlate with the property's risk assessment. Question 14. Virginia insurance regulations. Which of the following statements regarding the Virginia Bureau of Insurance is accurate? A. It only oversees health insurance providers. B. It enforces regulations for all types of insurance companies operating in Virginia. C. It is responsible for establishing premiums for insurance policies. D. It serves solely as a consumer advocacy group. Answer: B. It enforces regulations for all types of insurance companies operating in Virginia. Explanation: the Virginia Bureau of Insurance is responsible for regulating and overseeing all types of insurance companies operating within the state, ensuring compliance with state laws and protecting consumer interests. While it may offer resources for consumers, it does not set premiums for insurance policies, as this is determined by the insurance companies based on their underwriting guidelines. Question 15. Coverage types. Which type of coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy is intended to reimburse the insured for living expenses incurred while the home is uninhabitable due to a covered loss? A. Personal property coverage. B. Liability coverage. C. Loss of use coverage. D. Dwelling coverage. Answer: C. Loss of use coverage. Explanation: loss of use coverage, also known as additional living expenses, provides reimbursement for the increased living expenses incurred by the insured when their home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered event, such as a fire. This coverage is distinct from personal property and liability coverage, which address other types of losses. Question 16. Home insurance policy exclusions and limitations. Which of the following scenarios is typically excluded from homeowners insurance coverage? A. Damage caused by a tree falling during a storm. B. Damage resulting from neglecting routine maintenance. C. Theft of personal property from the home. D. Fire damage from a faulty electrical system. Answer: B. Damage resulting from neglecting routine maintenance. Explanation: damage that results from neglecting routine maintenance, such as failing to repair a leaky roof, is typically excluded from coverage under homeowners policies. Insurers expect homeowners to maintain their property adequately to prevent losses. In contrast, damage from a falling tree during a storm, theft from the home, and fire damage due to a faulty electrical system are generally covered events provided they meet policy definitions. Question 17. Special considerations. Which of the following statements is true regarding earthquake insurance in Virginia? A. It is included automatically in standard homeowners policies. B. It is mandatory for all homeowners in Virginia. C. It must be purchased separately as an endorsement or separate policy. D. It covers all types of structural damage without limits. Answer: C. It must be purchased separately as an endorsement or separate policy. Explanation: Earthquake insurance is not included in standard homeowners insurance policies in Virginia. It must be purchased separately as either an endorsement or a standalone policy. This is crucial for homeowners in areas where seismic activity is a concern. Options A, B, and D are incorrect. Earthquake coverage is not mandatory and coverage is subject to limits and exclusions. Question 18. Practical applications and case studies. Mr. Thompson recently experienced significant water damage in his basement due to a heavy rainfall. He has an HO3 policy. Which of the following actions should Mr. Thompson take first after discovering the damage? A. Immediately begin repairs without reporting the loss. B. Contact his insurance agent to report the loss and begin the claims process. C. Wait for the water to dry out completely before taking any action. D. Dispose of all damaged items to prevent further loss. Answer: B. Contact his insurance agent to report the loss and begin the claims process. Explanation: The first step Mr. Thompson should take is to contact his insurance agent to report the loss and start the claims process. Timely reporting is essential in the claims process as it ensures the insurer can properly investigate the damage. Starting repairs or disposing of items before reporting could hinder the claims process and potentially reduce the coverage amount available to him. Question 19. Ethics and professional conduct. Which of the following actions would be considered an unethical practice for an insurance agent in Virginia? A. Disclosing a client's personal information without their consent. B. Providing detailed information about policy coverage and options. C. Offering a free consultation to discuss insurance needs. D. Encouraging clients to review their coverage annually. Answer: A. Disclosing a client's personal information without their consent. Explanation: Disclosing a client's personal information without consent violates ethical standards and privacy laws governing the insurance industry. Agents are expected to maintain confidentiality and protect client information. Options B, C, and D reflect ethical practices that serve the client's interests. Question 20. Critical thinking and analysis. When assessing the insurance needs of a client with a newly built home, which of the following factors should be prioritized in determining the appropriate coverage levels? A. The client's current vehicle insurance premiums. B. The location of the home and its risk exposure to natural disasters. C. The client's personal preferences for specific types of coverage. D. The historical pricing trends of homeowners insurance in the state. Answer: B. The location of the home and its risk exposure to natural disasters. Explanation: When determining appropriate coverage levels for a client with a newly built home, understanding the location and associated risk exposure such as susceptibility to floods, hurricanes, or wildfires is critical. This information directly impacts the types and amounts of coverage necessary to protect the client adequately. While the client's preferences and historical pricing trends may be relevant, they do not take precedence over risk exposure analysis in this context. Question 21. Indemnity principles. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in property insurance? A. It allows policyholders to profit from their insurance coverage. B. It ensures the insured parties are compensated for losses up to the policy limit, restoring them to their pre-loss condition. C. It prevents insurance fraud by limiting payouts to the value of the loss only. D. It requires insurers to pay claims immediately without investigating the circumstances of the loss. Answer: B. It ensures that insured parties are compensated for losses up to the policy limit, restoring them to their pre-loss condition. Explanation: The principle of indemnity is fundamental in property insurance, aiming to restore the insured to the same financial position they occupied before the loss occurred, without allowing them to profit from the insurance. This principle helps prevent insurance fraud and maintains fairness in the insurance system. Options A and D must represent this principle, while option C only partially captures the concept. Question 22. Liability coverage. In a homeowner's insurance policy, which of the following is typically covered under personal liability coverage? A. Injuries to the homeowner while performing home repairs. B. Medical expenses for guests injured on the property. C. Damage to personal property belonging to the homeowner's neighbor. D. Legal fees for defending against claims of negligence. Answer: D. Legal fees for defending against claims of negligence. Explanation: Personal liability coverage in homeowners insurance typically includes legal defense costs for claims of negligence that result in bodily injury or property damage to others, while medical expenses for guests at option B may also be covered under medical payments to others at options A and C are generally not covered as they pertain to the homeowner's own injuries or damage to their property. Question 23. Homeowners insurance policies. Mr. Johnson has a HO3 policy. He is considering adding a scheduled personal property endorsement for his valuable jewelry collection. Which of the following statements is true regarding this endorsement? A. It provides blanket coverage for all personal property without specific limits. B. It ensures that the jewelry is covered for all risks, including accidental loss. C. It requires a detailed appraisal of each item to determine coverage limits. D. It increases the deductible for all personal property claims. Answer. B. It ensures that the jewelry is covered for all risks, including accidental loss. Explanation. A scheduled personal property endorsement is specifically designed to cover valuable items like jewelry for all risks, including accidental loss, which are often not covered under standard personal property coverage. Unlike blanket coverage, option A, this endorsement has specific limits for each item, and while an appraisal, option C, may be recommended, it is not a requirement. It does not typically affect deductibles for personal property, option D. Question 24. Consumer protections. Which of the following practices is prohibited under Virginia's consumer protection regulations for insurance? A. Offering discounts for bundling multiple insurance policies. B. Providing misleading information about policy benefits. C. Encouraging clients to review their policy options annually. D. Informing clients about coverage limits and exclusions. Answer. B. Providing misleading information about policy benefits. Explanation. Providing misleading information about policy benefits constitutes an unfair trade practice under Virginia law, violating consumer protection regulations. While bundling discounts, option A, encouraging policy reviews, option C, and informing clients about limits and exclusions, option D, are generally acceptable practices, misleading information undermines the integrity of the insurance transaction. Question 25. Risk assessment and underwriting. Which factor would most likely lead to a higher premium during the underwriting process for a homeowner's insurance policy? A. The home being equipped with modern security systems. B. The property's age and historical maintenance issues. C. The home being located in a well-maintained neighborhood. D. The homeowner having a long history of continuous insurance coverage. Answer. B. The property's age and historical maintenance issues. Explanation. During underwriting, older homes or those with historical maintenance issues present a higher risk for insurers, potentially leading to increased premiums. Conversely, modern security systems, option A, and residing in a well-maintained neighborhood, option C, usually reduce risk. A long history of continuous coverage, option D, typically signals stability and may contribute to lower premiums. Question 26. Home insurance policy exclusions and limitations. Which of the following scenarios would likely result in a denial of coverage under a standard homeowner's policy? A. A guest slips and falls on a wet floor inside the home. B. The homeowner's fence is damaged by a neighbor's tree. C. The home sustains damage from an earthquake. D. The homeowner's dog bites a delivery person. Answer. C. The home sustains damage from an earthquake. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies typically exclude coverage for earthquake damage, requiring a separate earthquake endorsement or policy. Option A would generally be covered under liability, while options B and D might also be covered under certain circumstances, depending on the specifics of the policies in question. Question 27. Special considerations. Which statement about flood insurance in Virginia is accurate? A. It is automatically included in standard homeowners policies. B. It is offered through the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP) and must be purchased separately. C. Flood insurance only covers damage caused by rising water from a river. D. Homeowners are not required to purchase flood insurance in Virginia. Answer. B. It is offered through the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP) and must be purchased separately. Explanation. Flood insurance is not included in standard homeowners policies and must be obtained through the NFIP or private insurers as a separate policy or endorsement. Option A is incorrect, while option C incorrectly limits coverage, as flood insurance typically covers various types of flooding. Option D is also incorrect. While not universally required, flood insurance is necessary for homeowners in high-risk flood areas, particularly if they have a mortgage backed by the federal government. Question 28. practical applications, and case studies. Mrs. Smith has filed a claim for wind damage to her roof caused by a recent storm. The insurance adjuster estimates the cost of repairs at $15,000, while the policy has a $1,000 deductible. How much will Mrs. Smith receive from her insurance company for the repairs? A. $14,000. B. $15,000. C. $16,000. D. $1,000. Answer A. $14,000. Explanation. To determine the amount Mrs. Smith will receive, the total repair cost, $15,000, is reduced by the deductible $1,000. Therefore, the payment from the insurance company will be $15,000. 1/3 equals 14,000. This calculation exemplifies how deductibles operate in claims processing. Question 29. Critical thinking and analysis. During a risk assessment for a client's homeowner's insurance, which aspect should be least prioritized? A. The proximity of the home to fire stations. B. The historical claims record of the homeowner. C. The aesthetic value of the landscaping. D. The local crime rates affecting the area. Answer C. The aesthetic value of the landscaping. Explanation. When assessing risk for homeowners insurance, practical risk factors like proximity to fire stations, option A, the homeowner's claims history, option B, and local crime rates, option D, are critical in determining the likelihood of future claims. Aesthetic value, option C, does not significantly impact insurance risk and is therefore least prioritized in the assessment process. Question 30. Ethics and professional conduct. An insurance agent discovers that a client has been underinsured due to an error in the policy. What is the agent's ethical responsibility in this situation? A. To ignore the error since the client signed the policy. B. To inform the client of the underinsurance and recommend policy adjustments. C. To immediately cancel the client's policy to prevent further errors. D. To charge the client for any additional coverage needed. Answer B. To inform the client of the underinsurance and recommend policy adjustments. Explanation. The insurance agent has an ethical obligation to act in the best interest of the client, which includes disclosing any errors in the policy that could lead to underinsurance. Ignoring the issue, option A, is unethical, while cancelling the policy, option C, without the client's consent is inappropriate. Charging for additional coverage, option D, is misleading as the error was on the agent's part and the agent should assist the client in securing adequate coverage without undue cost.